Well, good morning. Now, my name is Jerry, and I'm going to introduce you over the next few weeks about a new product that we're just about to launch on the New Zealand market. It's called AgriBoost. Now, what's special about AgriBoost? Well, AgriBoost is the result of nearly 20 years of research. Main scientist, Dr. Kelly Duncan, was Dean of Science at Canterbury University, and he and as me as well, really, have had a passionate interest in saving the planet, or at least doing what we can to reduce methane emissions, carbon dioxide emissions, and what have you in cattle. Now, for some reason or other, the climate change people who are anxious about the impact of animal emissions are looking at all sorts of ways in which this can be dealt with, such as planting weed forests, carbon credits, and so on. But we have discovered and patented in the United States, New Zealand, and in Australia, a substance that reduces methane from cattle by up to 90%, carbon dioxide by around 45%. Now, those are two good achievements in themselves. But what's better is that farmers are not going to be necessarily buying a product simply because it reduces greenhouse gases. There's nothing in it for them. So it has to be subsidized, or they have to be concerned enough about the environment that they're going to pay for themselves. So we discovered, much to our surprise, probably about 5 years ago, that giving animals our particular active not only reduced greenhouse gas emissions, but it also increased yield, and in particular in dairy cattle, milk solids by about 45%. Now, this sounds like snake oil, as somebody said to me. How can a small company with 2 or 3 people in a remote country like New Zealand come up with something that major agri-chemical research has yet to achieve? And I think it was probably serendipitous. So I will be talking about how we got onto the idea, how the idea grew, and about the research that we've done. Now, one thing I can say for certain is that every test that we have done over nearly 20 years has been replicable, it is accurate, and we get the same results every time. Farmers, of course, are delighted. The farmers have been involved in the tests, have been so excited with the results on the small test group of animals that they've been applying the substance to their entire herds and getting really, really good results. So we've now reached a stage where we have created a product. It's called AgriBoost, and it contains our active, which is CH4 Guard. Now, CH4 Guard is basically, it's a natural product. It's a vitamin. It's a vitamin which nobody has really thought of using in this particular way. It's therefore very safe. It is used all over the world. Every country in the world has this particular vitamin on its list of approved substances. It's registered as an animal feed in New Zealand, but nobody's really discovered the main properties of what we have found and are now marketing as AgriBoost, which is part of CH4 Guard. So over the next week or two, I will be expanding on this. I'll be talking about how we went about setting up our manufacture, some of the issues we had in convincing people that this product was actually viable. You know, and all this time, we've probably spent about $1 million getting where we are. We have had no support from government or anywhere else. In fact, the strange thing is that governments don't seem particularly keen to support this product. It's almost as though either they think it's too good to be true, or I wonder if they're really interested in achieving net zero, or whether it's simply a political thing. Now, I don't want to get into the politics, but I do want to introduce you to the product. And I do want you to think about maybe, just maybe, you can't really afford to ignore us. We do have a product, I'll reiterate, 90% methane reduction, 45% reduction in carbon dioxide, which surprised us. Didn't make sense, but it had happened. About 40 to 50% in milk solids, which is the valuable part of milk. At the same time, it reduces skate holes. Now, skate holes are known around the world as boar taint, and it's one of the reasons why if you're roasting a lamb joint, the place stinks the house out, doesn't it? It's beautiful meat, but the smell is very pervasive, and that's because of the amount of skate holes in the meat. And basically, it comes partly from fecal matter. And one of the problems we have in New Zealand is that our meat, because it contains high levels of skate holes, is not popular on the world stage. We say that the beef meat that we send to the States is prime beef. Well, it's not. We only send mince meat to the States, where it's used in burgers. Prime beef would generate to the farmers 3 to 4 times what they're being paid for minced beef. And yet, this is one of the side effects of our valuable discovery. And remember, we've got a patent. We've got a patent in the United States. Patent just about released in New Zealand, where it's been under examination. We've lodged a patent in Australia. We're busy looking at key destinations around the world where we also have to lodge patents through the International Patent Convention. So anyway, I'll keep you informed. I'm not particularly good at this. It's the first time I've made a blog, and a bit long in the tooth, so I'm not necessarily the most computer literate. But I just want to share with you something that is very exciting. And I hope farmers around New Zealand, Australia, excuse me, and even the wider world are going to be interested enough to follow us up or contact us. Our website, nomethanemagic.com. nomethanemagic.com. Be in touch again. Nice to talk to you. Take care now and have a great day.